Radio अपना Frankfurt Hello everyone, I'm Raman and today we have a very special guest with us today. And it is a pleasure for me to introduce him to all of you. And guess what? While I drive through this interview today, we all are going to experience something very special. It's called Freude am Fahren. We have Mr. Axel Jure with us today. He's the head of BMW Niederlassung Network in Hessen and works from BMW Niederlassung in Hanauer Landstraße in Frankfurt. And today, as the topic is BMW mobility, we are going to have a comfortable, yet sporty, and an eco-friendly discussion with him today. Exactly, that's what BMW stands for. Well, welcome, Mr. Jure, and thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for your invitation, Raman.
It's my pleasure. So let's move on to some key questions. Mr. Jure, would you like to tell something about yourself and the BMW Niederlassung in Frankfurt to our viewers and listeners?
Yes. So I work for BMW already since almost 30 years. And I've been also working in an international career. So 10 years ago, I was actually, just to mention some of my jobs I did within the company. I was responsible for the dealer development in the German market. And then I moved abroad. I went to Sweden, taking over the responsibility for the Northern Europe countries as a financial director. And from there, I stayed 3 years later in Milan for another couple of years and I was responsible as CFO and managing director of our national sales company in Italy. Last year, I moved back to Frankfurt and I took over this wonderful opportunity to be responsible for the Niederlassungs network in Hessen. And actually, it's coming back to the roots because I grew up in Frankfurt. So I had a lot of international experience now, but now I'm back here and happy to do this job.
Yeah. So I would say an expert in the area of BMW, a true BMW lover at heart, isn't it?
That's true. That's true.
So let's move on to the next question here now. I mean, Frankfurt is an international city, and there are many people from international community in Frankfurt. Now, how is BMW Niederlassung Frankfurt serving all Frankfurters, especially the international community here?
So, I made the same experience as some of the listeners and viewers. I moved to a foreign country as a foreigner, and I had to get in contact with new people. I didn't know anything about the country, and I thought when I came here, I should start supporting the international community even more as we did before. So we introduced a so-called BMW Newcomers Desk, where we serve international customers in 8 different languages, and we consult them when they want to buy a new car, but not only about the car, but also about finance, leasing, registration of cars, also questions about driving licenses. And we have a lot of things to offer, so a wide range of new cars, used cars, and we have experience with 500 service throughputs a day. So it's a quite interesting wide offer we bring to our customers here.
Yeah, so I would say a very extensive offer there, and what is important again to mention is support in 8 different languages. So you feel at home, you feel comfortable when you go there. It is your choice of language that you can take up, and you can discuss all your questions, all your concerns, and I'm sure that people will get satisfactory answers to that. With that, I move on to the next question. I mean, if I, as an international person, I come to BMW Niederlassung, what is that special factor that I can expect there?
So first of all, in our house, you will see about 1,500 cars in the different showrooms on stock, available for purchase immediately. You will see beautiful cars like M cars, electrified cars, different colors and engines. But one thing I would like to mention is very special because we invested recently, just 3 months ago, actually, we opened a new mobility space, which is called Frankfurt Mobile. And in this space, we host meetings, conferences, special events, but we also show new technologies of the BMW Group and do product launches. We invite organizations, institutions, and companies for dialogue and exchange. And actually, we want to bring together different interest groups. So public transport, energy providers, municipality, traffic planning. In a nutshell, a communication platform around mobility, technology, and sustainability.
Wow, I mean that sounds really good. And I mean while you touched on the fact there about technology and sustainability, I mean these are two factors which are also becoming kind of a challenge for the overall car industry. So my question to you here is BMW leading the path to be a green company now?
In fact, BMW takes climate change very serious. So how we use our resources in the future, that will also decide the future of our society, but also the future of our company. So we, within the BMW Group, we have a holistic approach. So we want to change not only one thing in our product life cycle, we want to change the entire value chain. So that means the suppliers, the production of vehicles, and also the consumption during usage. And what do we want to do there? Because you asked about green company. Yes, it's true. Somehow we put our force into 4 categories. So first of all is of course CO2. We all know about that. So we strive for a further reduction of CO2. By the way, from 2006 to 2019, we reduced already 71% of CO2 emissions. And even in the next 10 years, in this decade, we will move another 70% up to 80% of consumption down in CO2. The next category is the water consumption. So there we also strive to reduce tremendously. So in the last 10, 13 years, we also reduced there almost 30% per car, and we are already on a low level. Energy consumption, the third category, and also waste for disposal. We try to reduce more and more. So we have actually the strategy became an integrative part of our company strategy. Because as I said in the beginning, how we use our resources will decide the future. And we take this as a car company very serious.
Yeah. No, I mean, that sounds really promising. Again, in the last few years, 70% reduction in the CO2 emissions, and further an aim of reducing by 70 to 80%. I mean, that shows the commitment from BMW side. And as you said, I mean, it is also a responsibility towards our community. So it's a great job by BMW, I would say here. Well, while we are talking about the technical aspects of it, these trends that come into the car industry are coming very fast and they are changing on daily basis, right? So what are the tech trends within BMW cars and what can we expect about this in the coming years?
Yeah, of course, BMW is known for cutting edge technology and really great developers and production of cars. But I would like to point out on 2-3 points that are also now in the current discussions very important. So first of all is of course the e-mobility as a number 1 trend, and the BMW Group is speaking out of the crowd here. So we were the early birds actually with the iconic models i3 and i8 already 2013. Today we have the highest number of electrified cars in Europe. This year we will be able to sell around 200,000 cars to end customers, 200,000 electrified cars, I must add. And within the next 2 years, we have already 25 models electrified. So already today, fully electric, you can buy the i3, the Mini Cooper SE, and very soon the iX3 and the i4 following.
Wow.
So plug-in hybrid technology, why is it so also on the forefront? Why are we on the forefront there? Just to give you one example. So a plug-in hybrid is very important when you go into inner city traffic. And our plug-in hybrid solutions will detect by the GPS signal when you enter into the inner city, and then it switches into full electric mode, which is, of course, a very important thing when we talk about the air pollution in inner cities. The next tech trend, I would say, which is also, I would say, on everybody's mind, is about autonomous and assisted driving. So we talk about 5 levels of assisted driving or autonomous driving, and today BMW cars are on level 2, which means a lot of assistance during your driving. So you can keep the lane, you get some warning, you can be 30 seconds or more sometimes without touching the steering wheel. So there is a lot of technology already in, and from 2021 we are quite confident to expect the first car on level 3, which is, we call it almost like a moonshot.
Nice.
So it's really a big step ahead. And the third tech trend, I would say, there is something now going on when we talk about engine power and what kind of energy will bring us forward in the future. And one option is, of course, e-mobility. But there's also another possibility when we talk about hydrogen. So we will fleet in a small series of X models hydrogen cars in 2022 because we want to be prepared for diverse scenarios, not narrow-minded, but open also for different technologies. So we are actually on the spot of all the technologies that we can expect that comes to market.
Yeah. Now, I mean, me, myself, being a BMW fan, a very promising words that you have given here. I am excited listening to that. I mean, electric and hybrid plus intelligence on top of it. That's what we talked about. Then again, autonomous driving coming up, and again, hydrogen-powered cars. It's amazing, and I think I would be one of the first ones to come to BMW Niederlassung in Frankfurt and then test drive some of them myself. Yeah.
Very welcome, Raman. Very welcome. I will promise.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, with that, let me move to the next question. I think, and I mean, this was a key question that I had in my mind when we scheduled this interview. Is it the right time now to buy an electric car, or should one still go for a plug-in hybrid technology? Which is the right choice according to you today?
That's a good question. You know, Raman, when I lived in Italy, I learned a very interesting Italian answer. It depends. It depends. So actually, that's. I would like to explain what I mean about that. You know, one customer might live in Frankfurt downtown and using his car mainly to drive around in the Rhine-Main area, visiting some friends, doing some nice events, and maybe for vacation that person uses the plane or the train. I would say for that person, a fully electric i3 or Mini Cooper SE would be the perfect choice. But then there might be another person, another customer, and that customer might live in a suburb, maybe in Bad Homburg or even in Gießen, so 20 to 50 kilometers away from the working place, commuting every day, and using also the car to drive sometimes to Hamburg or to the Lake of Garda or other nice places, Neuschwanstein, as some of the listeners and viewers might remember or have in plan to visit soon. So if we look at that kind of customer, I would say they should choose one of our 10 BMW or one Mini plug-in hybrid solutions. Why is that so? Because that customer could charge the battery at home and at work and commute almost fully electric. I did this by myself when I was in Milan. Actually, from Monday to Friday, I always used only electric power to go to work and back, and I charged at home and in the company. So actually only for longer distances, when you go one day to Hamburg or to Neuschwanstein, actually then you can use the power of the combustion engine, which is of course additional in the plug-in hybrid, and at the same time it will charge and use even some combination of electric and combustion power. So that's I would say the best choice for this customer. But then there might be a third customer, and that third customer might be on business trips all the time, driving to Milan, driving to, I don't know, many other places with thousands of kilometers. And I would say in this case, I would suggest a diesel, a modern diesel. So I, by myself, when I had to commute between Milan and Frankfurt, I used a 530 diesel. And when I used that car, I was able to have a consumption with 6.1 liters per 100 kilometers. And sometimes in the German highways, it can be a bit more. But definitely when you come to Switzerland and to Italy, you will even consume less. So and that's a wonderful technology. So we think that the choice must be with the customer. We have even invented a name for that strategy. We call it power of choice. So the power of choice is actually the power that the customer has who decides. So we don't want to decide people should only drive this or that technology. We are prepared to deliver different technologies, and we are not only prepared to that, we even installed as the first manufacturer the possibility to produce the three categories of cars on the same production line. So we will have soon the X3 as a combustion car, as an electric car, and as a plug-in hybrid produced on the same production line.
Wow. Well, that's impressive. I mean, you use the word power of choice, and I mean, this is one thing that I would like to stress on for the viewers and listeners. Go to BMW Niederlassung in Hanauer Landstraße in Frankfurt. Test drive these cars. I mean, we've got electric at offer, we have got plug-in at offer, we even have diesel and pure petrol cars there, or you call it benzene car here in Germany. So you should go there, get the consultation in your preferred language, and then test drive them, and then feel the power. That's what I would say. Feel the power. You have the power of choice, and choose the right one for you. Well, with that, I would move to the next question, Mr. Ure, here now. Well, there are many BMW dealerships in and around Frankfurt. Why should a customer come to BMW Niederlassung in Frankfurt?
So there are quite a couple of good reasons to do that. So first of all, we have the experience of selling 22,000 cars a year. So with a wide range of expertise in consulting and really meeting the needs of our customers. We we have always, as I said before, 1,500 cars on stock, around 1,000 used cars. So you also get in all categories of cars, you get the right offers. And additionally, and that is something very special, I would say, we have also special offers, special deals for the listeners and the viewers of APNA Frankfurt.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much for mentioning that. I mean, we will bring from time to time right offers to all our listeners and viewers. So stay tuned to APNA Frankfurt. Offers are coming your way. Don't miss them, right? Well, Mr. Ure, with this, I would like to thank you for taking out the time to talking to us. And we appreciate your presence. And I would like to summarize what we have talked about here. Yeah. So when one goes to BMW Niederlassung in Frankfurt, one has a full vehicle consultation available. People can test drive. People can have financing consultation, not just for financing, but also for leasing options, insurance assistance, tax assistance, full registration service, delivery assistance, service and maintenance, and accident assistance in case it happens. And that too with a world-class customer service with a smile on their face, and offering this to you in a language of your choice. 8 languages are offered at BMW Niederlassung in Frankfurt. Well, if this is not power of choice, then what else can be, right? With this, I hope the viewers and listeners now know where they can find the right car for themselves. Yes, it is BMW Niederlassung in Frankfurt. Thank you, Mr. Ure, for taking out the time for us today.
Thank you, Raman. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, and I mean, pleasure is all mine, and I hope the viewers and listeners are going to benefit a lot from this talk. Thank you very much, and we stay in touch. Thank you.
Thank you.
Radio Apna Frankfurt.